Welcome back to ECS Europe. We are going into our fourth European map of today, and of course it is going to be between Dignitas and EnVy once again. Now, we've just seen a bit of a decimation, really. It was 16-7, a few highlights to come out for Kenny at least, and maybe a moment or two where Apex actually entered quite nicely onto the site. Other than that, it was all Dignitas going on to Mirage, a map that they're pretty good at, they're pretty confident on. They have had their ups and downs in the past, and there are a few moments where they were even skeptical, but decent form at the moment for Dignitas, probably maybe even the best this team has ever been, like in a long time at least. Do EnVy have what it takes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good question to look at. We've seen them do fairly well tonight on the side of Dignitas. EnVyUs have been a little bit shakier, have been relying a lot on Kenny, which is, you can do. But
it's been done.
Yeah, it has been done. Yeah, but that's kind of the issue. I mean, as Dan said, it's looking a bit like when he was on Titan back in the day.
And the almost existent bit where he was just like, yeah, Kenny, now you go over here. They've been attacking this a lot. Kenny, let's just move you and put you in a different spot, which is a little bit better for our team.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the issue. When you put when you put so much pressure on one person to perform, it can be extremely telling both in, their morale and
but that's the reason he joined this team.
Yeah, exactly.
So that he didn't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, yeah, no. But Mirage, it could be the place for them to potentially forge some sort of comeback. We never know. We should be hopping into it soon, though, as I think the Knife Round's going to be all good. But yeah, no. So going into it, do you think that this is leaning in advantage of Dig or
Dig? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're still going Dig 100%.
I'm firmly in the Dignitas camp at the moment.
Okay, that's fine.
Just seeing them play recently, they've been so very good. I've been impressed with how they've improved. The addition of Magic's, I was always a little bit skeptical. I was like, yeah, you're adding more firepower, but how much can this guy really change the team? And the answer was actually quite a bit. They seem to be a much better roster overall. The firepower addition has definitely worked out, and I think it just also works for the whole team in general. The way the setup seems to work much better overall. Either way, we are still waiting and seeing. You have to remember, he was added in after the loss of Kirby. But MBK will eventually get away with a couple spamming there, and well, it's Rubino to trade. The bomb should be going down fairly comfortably as the CT side will be rotating in. They're going to take a decent after plant positions as they will come in from two different angles. They won't have any rotation coming in through apartments, so it does give a little bit of free room for Rubino, but never mind. He's going to be taken down straight away by Kenny, and another, and while Sixer finishes things off, almost makes it look easy, but at least they got a bomb plant. That's a silver lining.
Yeah, no, I mean, every cloud does have that silver lining. For Dignitas, like you say, is the bomb plant. It's going to allow the extra $800 bonus. Should allow a round 2 buy as well. EnVyUs are only picking up the pistol and a little bit of a better start to this one than the previous. A nice 2 pieces of coming off the cards from Kenny S. A nice way to start things off, and perhaps a little bit of a hint of him being on form. We're going to be seeing, though, lots of respect given away to Dignitas, as we're going to be seeing 3 rifles straight off the bat on the side of EnVyUs.
Yeah, this is to combat the possibility of an early force buy, and it has come in a little bit more prominent recently where teams will just straight out go for those Tech 9s and try and make things work. In this round, well, it's 1 flashbang, 1 P250, and they're going to try and plant the bomb. So a lot really for Sixer to do. He's got to try and stop them getting this plant. That's the main aim of him here. Doesn't want to allow them to have the extra money, and that's exactly what he's done. He's done his job, and they won't even lose a single frag.
Yeah, no, I mean, they don't give anything up to the way of Team Dignitas. They didn't even give them a chance to get their foot in the door, completely mop that one up. No bomb plant either. But Dignitas, they did get it in the first round. So as a result, they're going to buy up nice and comfortably into this one. A little bit of utility to try and play around with. And on the side of EnVyUs, they keep 2 Famises up as well. So they have got a good chance heading in towards this round. The thing that worries me a little bit is the lack of utility on the side of Dignitas.
Oh yeah, there's a buttload currently on the CT side. Kenny will go for the early challenge, but it's aggressive mid pushes at the moment. Sixer will throw out some counter nades, but it blooms just a second too late to save Kenny. And now he's looking to try and trade them back. Has to be very careful around the edge of this smoke. Very aggressive position. I think Apex may have just spotted out Rubino. Never mind. Doesn't hear him drop down, and while the T's are just coming up trumps all across the board at the moment after a nice couple of rounds, things have fallen apart with just MBK versus 5.
Yeah, and I mean, it's looking like history could fast be repeating itself now. Like you say, it's all at MBK, 1 versus 5, and he's looking to save, looking to lead a peaceful life in towards this B site. But Dignitas, I don't think they're ready to give that to him just yet. MSL is going to be coming in from the back, but it doesn't matter because Magic's Boy takes him from the front regardless, finds that frag, and it's going to go 2-1 as Dignitas quickly get a round on the board.
Yeah, only losing 15 HP, so are pretty happy with that one. I don't think it can go much better than that, and we were worried about utility. Well, it doesn't seem they needed it, and it was a bit confusing the way Rubino got away with that so easily, to walk into the site, find Apex, find the second kill, and once that happened, it was pretty much over. Now the buy will come back in. They will try and go for this, but Cajun quickly entries, 2 headshots, makes things look almost easy. Happy at least trades one back, trying to bring this round into something at least, but it's going to be on Kenny, pushing back in, and Cajun's on fire. He's found himself 3 kills, leaving just Happy now to face versus 3.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky, and it's not going to be possible either, as it looks like Happy wants to try and leave once again and take this M4 with him into round number 5. Of course, finding himself in the 1 versus 3 with the bomb plant. It's been ticking out for quite some time. He doesn't have the kit or much utility to make his way onto the site. The issue is, Cajun B, he's here and he's ready. He's coming in from behind with the AK, and sadly, that's going to be Happy going down. 2-2 currently as Dignitas, they take things back to a tie.
Yeah, big round from Cajun. Just walks into the site, finds himself a quick transition onto the headshot. This was just lovely. The second as well, just to readjust before Sixer can even react. And again, this is just going to be the straight-up reset for EnVy. They start nicely, and the Dignitas are the ones to get themselves rolling off the board. Now, onto that T side, Cajun is actually just going to go with the Tech 9 in this round. Won't be too surprised if he grabs an AWP in the next. Of course, the risk behind having it in this round, not that he can't afford it, is the fact that even if they're unarmored players, if they get an AWP, well, there's not many players on that team that you would want to give an AWP to, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. And, well, currently, Dignitas looking a little bit curious in towards this B site. Magicboy's the one here, of course, completely unaware that there are 4 members of EnVyUs. Just sitting back, biding their time over here. Meanwhile, it's only NBK in towards that A site. Team Dignitas being quite passive, though, with how they're playing this map. Not actually probing for much information. Now finally looking like they want to try making their way out mid. As the bomb and Cajun B do relay their way there and start making their way out. Config as well coming in from lower tunnels. They wrap into mid nicely. Sadly, it's not going to be able to find anyone just yet. Now it looks like they'll be heading up short. 3 players here. The Config heading back in towards Apps. This is going to play very, very well right into EnVyUs' hands. There are 4 players here to try and match the 5 of Dig. And well, this push could be shut down before it even begins.
Yeah, no information play from Dignitas. They're pushing into the belly of the beast, and well, already it's going to be a quick trade. It seems to be working quite nicely, though, as the flank comes in and they manage to actually make things work. Risky strategy there, not really finding too much out about where the push was, but it seems the crossfire situation for EnVy doesn't pay off, and even now, looking at this round, they still don't really have enough to go for anything. If they didn't buy the pistols, maybe they would have done, but clearly that wasn't on their calendar.
No, it wasn't. And, well, now it's going to go 2-3. Dignitas there storming ahead slowly but surely. Well, I wouldn't say storming. They've only got 1 round. Maybe it's a little bit too optimistic there. Dignitas, though, going to be looking to try and hold on to that as EnVyUs once again back onto an eco. Apex is going to be able to find the first one in Config in these lower tunnels area. Isn't going to be punished for it just yet, but Magicboy is there ready and waiting for trade. He's going to be able to get it, and now it's going to go 4-on-4. They lose the AK. And, well, Happy is close enough to try and make something happen, but with 2 players for Dig in mid, pinning him down. Also, same with Kenny S. It's not going to be too good. Smoke up in window is going to allow free movement through the middle area, and you can already see Dignitas capitalizing on that. They send 2 players up short, sorry. The remaining 2 making their way up through Apps. Looking like they're going to try splitting onto B once again.
Ooh, nice shot from Happy, though. We'll give him a little bit of a flank, and if MBK can buy time, well, it looks like he can buy more than time. Already finds 1, but quick trades leave it back to a much closer standpoint. Kenny with another, leaving it down to a 2 versus 1. Now, Cajun, he's got that AWP in play. Got to try and challenge versus 2 now. Sixer doesn't have a rifle. Neither of these players actually have any armor. So in terms of A-punch potential, this is perfect. And he still has a lot of time. Sixer will peek out. His position is now known. Kenny, no chance for a trade. And, well, Cajun, he's coming a little bit close, but he will finish this one off. Nice save, as that could have been a very bad round. Will he get his AWP? No, he will not.
Yeah, no, it's a sad day whenever they don't get the
money's all right, though. He's not going to be crying too hard.
Conflict is $10,000. I mean, he can afford to be a sugar daddy a bit. He can drop here and there. It's no worries. He can buy up for the rest of the team. And there we go. This is MBK trying to hold down the site. It was a spectacle indeed. Does hold it down just long enough for his team to get in, but sadly, Cajun B comes up trumps at the end. So, as a result, Team Dig, they do take another round on the board, and we're now going to be seeing a little bit of a change of pace here from the side of EnVyUs. They sent Apex aggressively up in towards mid. It's going to pay off. Finds 1 Frankless for the second, but Magicboy there to trade things out. Puts it back into a 4-on-4. They're going to be forced out of mid as a result. You can already see he looks to try and want to fall back a bit. It's all going to be whether or not Config can find much, and Well, as he looks to peek out mid, this might be the chance. Finds one under Kenny, but he's not going to check top mid. And Six is right there, but they don't communicate this well enough. They're walking right past each other. And now Six is trying to hide out in the smoke. Config goes for the spray, and he finds him. It's going to go 2 on 4. Happy and MBK, both on other sides of the map and isolated.
Kenny blinded himself going for that kill. That's just a little bit of bad luck. Flashes for his teammate, completely blinds himself and then gets killed because of it. Problems for Envy already. Happy, he's trying to hold down this site alone, but the swarm comes in and chomps him up, leaving just MBK once again, the B player, isolated once more, and he has to just fall back. There's nothing he can do here.
Yeah, well, I mean, this site is completely overrun. The bomb's taken away. MBK once again finds himself in a scenario where he's been doing all right over towards B. It's the guys on A that just seem to be letting him down consistently. He never even gets a chance, really, to come into the round. Which, I was going to, okay, that spray was maybe not to my testament, but he does come out on top, and he does take out Magic's boy as a result, looking for a second, and there we go, that's what I'm talking about. Finds a nice shot on a Rubino. Nice little 2-tap, takes him down, and now it's Cajun being Config trying to hunt down the last remaining member of EnVyUs. They don't want him to save this M4.
Oh, and that's how you do it, Kobe. Finishing off the round. We will lose one more. Config actually throws away his gun. He actually lost a rifle there just because he couldn't pick up the correct one, so he ends up with nothing. Again, well, Sugar Daddy in play. He's going to be able to buy himself up the rifle, which he probably shouldn't have lost. So a little bit of extra damage, but you have to remember now, this is already 5 rounds on the board for Dignitas on the T side of Mirage. Now, it's not as CT-sided as it used to be. It's still falling back a little bit, but it is still a CT-sided map by most people's regard, at least. Either way, in terms of the CTs, they're back to pistols once again. They managed to do some damage at last time, but damage isn't going to be winning them this game. And, well, so far, not so good. Happy? We'll find the tag. MSL a little bit low, and they do still have 2 players. MBK managing to get one last time, and, well, he gets one, looking for the second. MSL very low at this stage, and, well, the pistols are doing their damage.
Yeah, Bob's going to get dropped on short as well. Rubino quick pick up the trade. Finds a second as well in the form of Sixer, takes him down. MBK does rotate into short, grabs an AWP for his troubles. 2 on 3, Happy's able to find one on a config as well. Bomb is dropped on short. MBK has grabbed an AWP, nearly lands that shot, but he's just going to have that taken away from him. Now trying to hold up this bomb almost solo as Happy kind of just leaves him to fend for himself. Now looking like he wants to try and make his way over towards A to catch the rotating players by surprise, but Rubino ready and waiting, takes him down. Maybe a bit of an error there for Happy, just to leave MBK to try and deal with the threat that was Team Dignitas all alone.
Yeah, good use of utility as well by Dignitas to force him back out of play, and eventually had to run through the Molotov, and Rubino there stopping Kenny getting an AWP is always going to be an important position in the round. Of course, they're still taking a lot of damage in these rounds. Now, in terms of their economy, it hasn't taken effect just yet, and, well, Sixer, he has not had much luck so far in this game. Every time, I'm pretty sure he's either the first or second player to be taken out whenever Cajun goes for one of those aggressive peaks, and he's not going to have any chance to play in this round either. However, Kenny, he's going to even things up. MSL is lost, and a 4v4 at least for MB.
Yeah, things are going to be equalized back out. 3 members for Dignitas, though, looking to be a little bit curious in towards this A site, and it's only Apex to hold this one down. And, well, hold it down, he doesn't. He's going to have his head ripped off of his shoulders, and, well, not off his shoulders. I mean, neck would have been a better thing to say. Don't know why he's like that. But Kenny coming in from CT does have the AWP in hand. He's the rotator maker here, and he does so within the time frame. Good enough to try and hold things back. But Config finds him through the crate, and Cajun being mid. EnVyUs being completely shut down, unable to rotate in and try and defend this one. It's all on MBK once again. The lone B player who's rotated on through, trying to defend this A site. And sadly, Rubino's going to take him down 2-7 as Dignitas take a 5-round advantage.
I'm pretty sure they've almost lost the first man every single round. It's always Cajun or Config just pushing in. Like we saw Cajun this round go in, get the AWP pick, then a moments later Config finds 2 more entries onto the A side. They're just not able to cope with these 2 players at the moment, and it really is a problem for Envy. They've got themselves pistols once again. It has really been the better avenue for their play, but they're just unable to stop the onslaught that is this T side. The spray comes down, both players make mistakes, and eventually it's MBK to finish things off. It's a 3 versus 2, the advantage with the CT side, but once again it's a pistol.
Yeah, but they do have that man advantage still, and they've also got bomb down, which would be a nice victory for them to try and grab. It's over towards Connector, Sixer, and Kenny both there to try and hold it back, while Rubino and Magic's boy trying to make their way through mid. They've got to watch out, because over by short there's a lurking NBK. He does have an AWP in hand as well. Well, he's going to be able to find the first on the match point. He's going to be able to pull that in. They do know where he is. Rubino's able to find him, but Kenny sets up the crossfire and gets that trade. It's going to allow EnVyUs to pick up a third round on the board, taking this one to a 3-7 scoreline.
Yeah, but the reset train is all but coming into the station. They've got to make this one work with the rifles now, and that hasn't been an avenue they've been too good with so far. Of course, they get themselves an AWP at least, so that's something that they can save a little bit of money on. In fact, they're going to invest in a second. So MBK, we've spoken about his B hold. That hasn't been the problem, really. So picking up the AWP may not make too much of a difference, but I'm definitely looking towards Kenny. He hasn't been too much of an impact so far, and this time he will be holding down mid. And in fact, well, MBK is looking like he's going to have everybody coming in his direction.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall feat indeed to try and hold this one back. Does miss off the AWP shot, and well, the flashes are going to be coming on in. Happy tries to hold this one back. Is going to be able to find one on the Magis boy. Backs up as well with MBK as they try to work their way into a corner. MBK finds one out of MSL, but Config comes in from behind. Able to take down Happy, finds a second as well into MBK. And now this is all going the way of Dignitas. Config on 3, picks up a third. He's going huge, finally taken down by Sixer. And now it's all on Cajun B. Going to be swapping out the AWP for an AK. He tries to make his way towards shot, but Apex in from short does find him. And manages to cement a 4th round on the board for the side of Envy.
Yeah, finally something coming up trumps for them. Still unable to deal with the beast that is Config, and he manages to grab them a couple of kills, so the economy's still not going to be good. But this time it's not good for either team. Dignitas are starting to struggle a little themselves, and the loser of this round will be the one falling back to the pistols. So a good opportunity at least for Envy to get themselves back towards that 8 mark, which they will want to aim for now. Of course, they can't do any better than that, so they can't aim for anything higher. And while Magis, he's going to be looking to challenge MBK, and he will lose that battle. So finally, a man advantage goes the way of Envy.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time, Envy is starting things off in an advantageous position. Dignitas, they have 2 guys over towards A, in the form of Config and Rubino, but Rubino's going to get tagged down low. Config tries to go out to get the crossfire set up, but isn't going to be able to find anything on the back of that. Apex still here to try and wreak some havoc. You've also got Sixer as well, working his way through the middle of the site. However, mid has been given towards Dignitas, and as a result, they have managed to get MSL up towards the stairs and Cajun B into connector, and this has helped open up this A site. They're closing in around EnVyUs, and now it's all on Apex, trying to hold this off from Sandwich. Going to find one, goes for the second, managed to make it 2, looks for the third. Apex, what was that? That was insane, and it's Happy to finish things off. Takes down Cajun B, and EnVyUs, they get a 5th round on the board, and what a spectacle that was. That's what we needed from Apex.
I don't know where that just came from. It just seemed like out of the depths of nothing we've seen from him so far. He comes up huge and single-handedly holds off that A push, and from so many different angles as well. I'm no idea how Dignitas even got that much map control, but the fact that he then shuts it down is an even better spectacle. Either way, Envy look like they've now won that economy battle for now, as it will be Deagles on the board for Dig.
Yeah, I mean, what a confidence boost if there ever was one from EnVyUs. That is exactly what they needed. Apex stepping back up to the mark. It's going to be able to land a really nice triple kill there over towards that A side in the previous round. Kenny, yeah, so this round looking to try and be the star player. Finds one on occasion B in mid. Apex showing that he hasn't lost the talent just yet. Finds one frag, looks for the second, takes down Magic. He's going to be looking for the third. Can he get a Magic 3K once more? Rubino actually able to chime in with the one, and then Kenny in through CT spawn is there to pick that up. The trade does come in. It's going to go 6-7 as EnVyUs get their 2nd in a row.
Six is just having no luck. Every time it seems to be him getting the 1 dig or anything coming his way. It's not working out at the moment, of course. Buy back up for Dignitas. Money now good as well for Envy, so they'll have a buy for the last couple of rounds at least. So that's something prominent they can take in. If they get this back to 8-7, they actually haven't done too bad considering how they started. However, aggression, Kenny, he tries to play that rotation AWP. This time Cage is going to win that battle. No man advantage this time. They have to play from 1 down.
Yep. Suddenly it's going to be looking to turn back to old habits as Dignitas take the early man advantage. Kenny S can either play the full Cajun B coming out on top with the AWP, showing that perhaps there's a new god of AWPing in town. Config going to be able to find one out on a 6er as he falls as well. Had a fairly quiet game so far, and this is going to allow Dignitas to start to take advantage of connector control and potentially split on towards this A site. MBK trying to rain his death from short is going to be able to find one frag out on a Config, but he's got to worry about the remaining players coming in from short and apps, and now suddenly he realizes he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's able to find the one frag earlier on, but then nothing else. It's going to get taken down. Is it going to go 3-on-2? Apex and Happy. Last 2 players left alive for EnVyUs.
Yeah, well, the thing is now the T's have a lot of time to actually plant the bomb wherever they actually want it. It will be facing towards the car and towards Cajun. Cajun holding the shot, finds Happy, leaves just Apex less, and Rubino, who's been doing relatively well as well. will grab himself that final kill. And as said, there's going to be a buy on the board for the CT side, so not the end of the world. It's not like the rest of the rounds we've seen from them where they've lost and it's been a straight reset. It's not too bad in this circumstance. The only problem is Dig are now winning this half on the T side.
Yeah, the good thing is, though, it's a buy in the last round of the half, which is exactly what you need to try and end things strong. Kenny going to be looking to peek out into mid. 3 players here for Dig to try and go aggressive early on, and that smoke's going to allow them to cross undetected. Kenny is trying to watch through the smoke, doesn't find anything. Apex, meanwhile, putting in some work over towards A, shuts down the push there, and they lose Cajun B, and as a result, they lose their presence on A. They can't split onto this anymore. So it's all going to fall onto Magic's point towards Apps really to try and make something happen, and he's going to get taken down as well. So just as you say it, MBK finds him. Now it's all on the 3 remaining Dig players making their way up short, and they're going to get spotted out. MBK and Happy, they come together there at the end. Perfect synergy to take them down in just a flurry of frags.
I like the little jump there from Happy. He actually spots through a really
tiny gap,
and just gives himself all the info that's needed and basically says to Nathan, okay, rotate back, peek this way, and they just line it up nicely. So they get themselves the 7th round on the board. Of course, now we go on to the CT side of Dig. Now, if they get themselves the pistol and a good start, I think this is where the problems will begin and maybe things will end. I do also want to talk about the fact that that was finally a round where Apex goes aggressive, catches Cajun, doesn't allow him the entry pick, and everything seems to go their way. So maybe a little bit too late to test that one out, but at the same time, now we go into the pistol, and already a lot of damage done. A mid play coming in, and well, there's the flank, but it's not going to have any dividends at all. Config spins around, finds that one. MBK's managed to get onto the site, and well, he's got to try and hold this down as the bomb rotates in, manages to catch the dink onto Config, but it's not enough to get himself a kill. The long-range Glock, not enough.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit here, but does find one out into Rabino. Puts it back into a 3-on-3. Now turns his attention to CT, and well, the only thing he's going to be able to spot is a glimpse of Cajun B. Oh, and then he finds a second as well, just jumping up there over the box. Sixer comes in with a nice return, puts it into a 1-on-2, but he's still got a lot of work left to do. Makes his way onto the site, should be able to get the plant, but wants to go for the aggression, and it does pay off. Finds one on the Config, and now it's MSL versus Sixer. Don't know why Sixer isn't just going to be going for the bomb plant, but there we go. Finally going to be trying to get that down. I guess he wanted to plant for CT, which is a fairly smart move on his part. MSL going to be slowly making his way up. One-on-one duel of the century here. Sixer going to be trying to face off against MSL. He's making his way onto the site. He's going to go aggressive, and oh, they're just playing around the box perfectly. Sixer, I hope he isn't in 4x3, but I feel like he might be. MSL's going to find him anyway on the back of that with the Usman, while the first round is going to get the way of Dig.
Yeah, came very, very close in the end. The mid-battle turns into a sort of a hit and a lot of damage coming in. Sixer having a decent round alongside MBK, but overall it's still going to be Dig to get that round. Now, we look towards the T side and what they're actually going to opt to do here. Now, they could buy themselves the Tech 9s, get some smokes, go for an A play, and basically just try and force this one straight out, or the more common, where they just save for the AKs. Now, the only reason I talk about that pistol play is because it would be a sort of envy thing to do, just to try and take the fight as soon as possible, wanting to get themselves straight back into this one. And, well, there you go. The pistol's straight in play. They will invest. They're going to get the Tech 9s. They're going to get the smokes, and they're going to try and challenge this A site.
Yeah, in classic EnVyUs fashion, trying to keep that aggression going. They pick up the Techs and a PT-50 on Happy, as well as the Deagle and MBK for a little bit of long-range superiority. 3 UMPs on the side of Dignitas, and that could come into this round in terms of farming up some money. Might get punished as well because of the buy that EnVyUs have done. And we see Apex finds the first out of Magic's boy. Cajun B trying to trade things back out. Does get one frag, but now he's stuck here. Able to pick up a second as well. Sixer's going to fall. He's still alive and kicking. Finally gets taken down as MBK is able to find him. Now it's on that conflict here. Being any player to kind of get some aggression out onto the site. Opting to fall on back, and well, bomb plant's going to get denied. MSL through CT spawn, able to pick up that frag onto MBK, puts it into a 2-on-3, and bomb still isn't down.
Yeah, now it's all down to Kenny. He's got a decent spot to at least grab one, maybe even a second, but Config will spin around getting his second kill, making $600 more to his already made. And well, now you look towards Envy and you say, okay, well, you tried it, it didn't work, now you have to save again and give Dig that extra economy boost.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the issue, right? When you go for an aggressive buy like that, if it doesn't work out, you don't get the plant down at least, you are going to forfeit quite a few subsequent rounds as a result. And that's what we're going to be seeing here. EnVyUs, they're going to have to bite the bullet. Just try to head into this one doing the damage they can. Config does throw it up mid, but it doesn't find too much. In fact, it doesn't find anything. And now he's going to be playing this out in Connect. It does have the MP9, possibility to try and farm some money here and pad those stats out, which would be good for him, I suppose. Yeah,
of course, want to make as much money as possible, but, well, Cajun pretty much saving for the AWP in this round, doesn't get anything done. Config, $600 added to the piggy bank. Not going to need to smash that one just yet, and going for a little bit more. Of course, teammate Molotov'd out for the T, so can't really go for the flank play in config. Well, that's 1,200. Counting the cash at the moment. How much money will he get away with in this round? That's what we're looking towards. Well, he's already lost that one. It's not going to come in, and he's still going for the aggressive peak. Make it up to $1,800. How are you keeping count on this one? He's got one more to find. Kenny not really pushing into his direction. They have taken a couple with them, so in terms of just pistols, it's not too bad. And, well, Magisk is going to ruin the money train.
Yeah, I felt like just then it was Config just stood in one of those things they have in like Las Vegas with the booths that shoot money up in the air.
Catch it, Config.
He's just grabbing it with the MP9 in hand, and yeah, he's able to get a nice bit. $1,800 ultimately isn't anything you could shake a stick at. 7-11 now as Team EnVyUs looking to try and make their way back into this on the back of this buy. Dignitas, you know, they've been looking really strong so far. They've got a good buy on the cards as well. You've got the AWP up on Cajun B, which is always something to be scared of, and Kenny looking to try and counter AWP that.
Yeah, of course, the amount of players that have actually been lost, it means that Dignitas haven't actually built up as much money as maybe expected. So there is still a good opportunity here for Envy to actually get them back closer to the reset. Of course, the T side have invested themselves. Kenny on the glass cannon, AWP, but Sixer and MBK both at once finding entry kills, starting things off wonderfully. Config is there to trade one back. He'll spot the second, and it's Rubino to bring this back to the 3 versus 3. So the early aggression doesn't actually get capitalized on. The early picks don't work out, and now it's back to an even standpoint.
Yeah, it's going to be put back into that even 3-on-3 scenario. Rubino in towards B. He's going to be the player to try and hold this back as EnVyUs looking a little bit curious. Apex as well, yeah, making his way through jungle, silent. He's going to be sneaking past everyone on the side of Dignitas, and he's in a great position to take out the rotating players here, especially with Config being so far away as well. But now it's looking like EnVyUs, they could be making the worst decision they've made so far, deciding to double back through lower tunnels and now make their way out on towards this A site. And while it might be undefended, I mean, you had Apex in such a good position to try and shut down the rotators in towards B, and instead, Rubino finds that frag, and now it's going to be a 2-on-3 for the retake.
Yeah, and Config's position now, the value of it has just skyrocketed. He kept them in, he kept the bonds, and they went through the roof right at the end of the round where he's just able to end anybody coming the way. I do have to agree, if they'd gone the other way, they would have had the sort of flank position coming through market and the push onto the site, so it was sort of a 50-50. The only reason they went the other way was because they thought that A was clear. They just didn't know the Config had already gone all the way back around, so a little bit of bad luck going the way of Envy. And, oh yeah, as said, it works out wonderfully for Dig once again as Config's able to add his 19th kill. It's him and Cajun right up there at the moment. Rubino clinging on. He's got 15 himself, but, well, looking at the sort of round score at the moment, it will be another buy for Envy on the board with the bomb plant added in. But too many more losses, and Dig are getting ever closer. Magisk hits the dink, but doesn't get the kill.
Yeah, and that's going to be the early man advantage going the way of EnVyUs. They don't decide to capitalize on it by going out fast. If they did, then they might have been able to get out of the site. The Config's going to remain steadfast and firm. Finds those 2 frags. MBK and 6 are going to be going down. Molotov's out. Doesn't find that kill just yet. It's going to be Rubino to get the trade. Puts it back into a 3-on-2 with the 1-man advantage leading the way of Dignitas here. Kenny S and Happy going to be all that stand remaining for EnVyUs. Happy's able to find 1 frag out occasion B. And look at this long flank from MSL. Could come in huge, but at the same time, it's going to allow him to get this bomb down. Rubino rendered useless almost in CT with the bomb plant position, and now EnVyUs looking to fall back in towards mid. MSL really the only one who can be the linchpin into this round.
Yeah, it's a nice bomb plant as well. It does give them a good opportunity now. MSL, he does have to go big here, but it seems that Kenny may be aware that there's a long flank coming in, and because of that, they're actually going to fall back. Now, they've thrown a smoke onto the bomb as an almost pull-out position, but Kenny is already going to grab one. This leaves Rubino. He's got the kit, he's got no utility, and it looks like he's just going to go straight for the defuse. He's actually getting pretty damn close. They're going to run in. He may actually just get in. He's going to get knifed at the end, but it doesn't matter. A 2 versus 1. It should have been Envy's round, and well, the balls on Rubino at the moment, they're dragging along the floor, it has to be said, just to run into that smoke and do exactly what was needed of him.
That was the best thing I think you've ever said. Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't agree more. What a great analogy for it. And it's going to go 7-13 as a result. Dignitas going to be coming out huge. And, well, EnVyUs, they're going to be, once again, kind of on this weird scenario where they're getting the bomb plants, they're just not getting the round wins. So they have plenty of money lying around in their coffers. They're just not being able to convert them into round wins or back up on Kenny S. Plenty of utility on the side of EnVyUs. And, well, they're going to be a little bit curious as to what this B site holds in store. 3 members of Dignitas here currently. They look too aggressive early on. Kenny S is going to be a good position to try and shut this down.
Yeah, again, they get the bomb plant, so there is still money in hand. Magisk will start things off with the loss of MBK. Now it's going to be MSL. Throws out the nade, but they're much closer than he may expect. Still manages to spray down 2 almost gets the third, and while Happy, he's lurking, but there's not really much to lurk on at the moment. It's just Kenny left. He's got 4 players to find, 14 HP. This is a lot to ask. We've seen him do some crazy things, but this is not going to be one of them. Config finishes things off, and well, although this one started a lot closer, it looked like a sort of matchup that may work out. It's getting back towards the same standpoint as before, and well, it's looking like maybe the T side just not really there for Envy. They're going to have to force into this one, putting everything they have, and again, a similar buy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good this time, though. They do have it a little bit weaker. 6 are going to be up with the Deagle in hand. Utility on the side of Envy is not looking too strong here. Well, at least not as strong as it was in previous rounds. They try to take control of mid early on. That smoke's going to allow them to do so. As they push down, Cajun B going to be waiting. Does find one frag out on a Kenny, and the trade is just going to come through Apex there to put it back into a 4-on-4. Grab control of Connector as well. It's going to allow them to start to potentially split out on towards this A site. Happy over towards the Palace area. Might get spotted out here by Magisboy, but he actually finds that frag, and now it's all on Config alone on this site as he's going to be completely surrounded by EnVyUs as they start to make their way on through. He's really got to try and stay alive here to try and buy some time, but he's going to go down, and now it's all on MSL in a 1 versus 4 with the money on Team Dignitas. Do you think he could potentially try and go for this one?
I don't even think their money's particularly good, because they've sort of had a lot of close rounds. I will be intrigued to see sort of the monetary standpoint they have at the moment, because you have to remember the sort of last round that came in, it was sort of a... Last round wasn't bad. The round before, they only had, what, 1 player surviving. It was the Ninja Diffuse from Rubino. He actually dies after the round, so the money's not going to be anything too crazy, and it does look like he's just going to try and stick this rifle out. Of course, the more damage he does, the better. But there we go. Now, let's sort of look at the monetary position. I do think they should have enough to get a buy on the board, but no, look, it actually is. It's that bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it does mean, of course, they're going to be having to force down about $2,000, which I imagine is what we're going to be seeing, although they haven't really been too keen on buying the armor. So it looks like they're just going to be going for as much money as they can, which I suppose, you know, they can afford to do. They have got 6 rounds between them and EnVyUs, and, you know, I mean, if they want to make smart economic decisions, that's down to them. Currently, they're 1 round away from match point. Config B hopping his way up in towards the A apartments as he looks to peek out on towards Happy, who's holding this angle. He does find that frag, and as a result, this A site's going to be looking quite delicious now. It's all going to fall onto Magisboy, who is going to get taken down as well. He bites the bullets. Now A is completely open. They're quickly trying to rotate through KGB as fast as they can. The issue is Apex is there first, does find that frag, and these rifles just shutting down the pistols at long range.
A lot of dinks seemingly coming in as we have Apex, Kenny, and MBK all low. But it doesn't matter. They keep every single player alive. That's the most important thing for MB at this point. Of course, we now know after a couple of rounds in a row, it's going to be Apex. Or Apex? Now I've done it. Name someone instead of saying the team. Dignitas, who are buying back up. No AWP for Cajun. And, well, they do have a decent amount of utility. They've actually done all right from this buy.
Yeah, no, they've been able to get a good bit together. I do agree with you there. Going to be seeing a 2-1-2 kind of setup here with Cajun B finding that early frag in mid through the smoke. It's going to give them the early man advantage and the extra edge when it comes to drilling this one home. Happy, meanwhile, in towards ramp. Looking like they're going to be splitting out on towards A with the positioning of these EnVyUs players, trying to take mid control. But right now, Dignitas going very heavy in denying it. You've got Rubino over towards short, Config in connector, and Cajun B playing it from window. Smokes have landed to try and get EnVyUs some ground, but ultimately it hasn't worked as they are going to be completely shut out of mid, opting to kind of take things a little bit slowly as it is going to be handed over to them. But still, now it's a 3-on-4, the one-man advantage leading the way of Dig, and all they've been able to get for their troubles is mid control.
Yeah, it's not looking too good at the moment. They are just having to slow push out mid. Utility-wise, they don't have any smokes left, so all they can really do is flash and maybe Molotov it to hope that nobody peeks. Luckily for them, there's nobody there to really deal with. They get rid of Rubino, and this only leaves one player actually towards the B side. The rotation is coming in from Cajun, but it's MSL, and he peeks out, gives away the spot, and now they have no positioning on the B side at all. And you have to wait to see what the CTs are actually going to do. Now, Cajun looks like he may already be done and out of this one, falling back. Config waiting for an exit frag, but they've just decided, nope, do you know what? We've still got rounds to play with. We're not going to challenge a 2v3. We're just going to sit back.
Yeah, and I can't say I blame them. Their economy isn't looking too good. And saving up these M4s does mean they should be able to get some sort of buy on the cards into the next round. Only danger is it is going to go 10-14. And, you know, at what stage, Tom, do you think, Dignitas need to actually start worrying about EnVyUs potentially making their way back into this?
Oh, I think that there's still a fine opportunity for them to do it now, because they've got a few rounds in a row. These are the first rounds they've actually managed to win on the T side to get themselves rolling. Yeah, it's always going to be a big problem. And going into the next round, yeah, you sort of had a couple of players that could drop. I wonder if there's anybody else who had a little bit of remaining cash. It doesn't look like it. So in terms of this round, the best opportunity is probably just to save. And it seems like they are going to bring in a few pistols, dropping down to about 2k mark, and you sort of bring in the amount of money they'll have in the next. That's not going to be a problem with the buy potential. But then you're sort of looking at a position where, okay, say you don't do too much in this round. There's only a 3-round difference. And although, yes, the CT side is favored, momentum is still a massive factor and always will be in CS.
Yeah, no, definitely so. And I mean, that's the issue. You don't want to allow yourself to kind of start to lose that momentum when you're when you were on the winning side, and that is, you know, could be something we see on the side of Dignitas. Apex are going to be making his way towards B, looks to try and open things up, and notice where MSL is. Does find that first frag. It's all on 6 and a hop down to find the other, and Apex and 6 are just combined there to pick up 3 frags between them. Now it's all on Magisboy and Config. Config having the M4 from the previous round, already looking like he wants to try and save.
Yeah.
And Magisboy with that CZ wants to try and pick up some exit frags. They do have the, you know, they're kind of near to each other, so they can trade into this fairly evenly. I think the idea is they have to run into Magisboy first, and then hopefully Config can be there to kind of reinforce it, using, you know, Magis as a bit of bait.
Yeah, of course, he doesn't really have anything to lose, so it's not too much of a problem. They'll have a buy coming in the next round no matter what, of course. There's no sort of, oh, you don't get... Well, I suppose there'd be no way that would make any sense for the CT side, but basically the way is they're always getting a loss bonus if they lose the round, so it's not going to be a problem for them. And in Config's position, he may even be able to drop an AWP in the next round, so just saving here is definitely going to be a sort of better decision for him to make. And, well, I wonder if he actually will drop the AWP over. I think Cajun may be able to afford one anyway, but just to allow him to have a few nades and something a little bit additional into this one. Either way, it is 14-11. The loss of this round could actually put them in a position where they have to eco once again, or they have to go for a force. And either way, ENVY are going to be pretty happy with that. And now we are getting down to that sort of squeaky time where maybe ENVY can actually bring this one back.
Yeah, no, definitely so. It's going to be 11-14 right now. ENVY is within shot. Be able to claw this one back, like you say. 3 players right now for them. Over towards A-Ramp, backed up now by Happy, who gets there a little bit late to the party, but he's going to be heading up through Palace as they make their way out on towards the A site. It's all on Magis to try and hold this one back. Well, he's going to bite the bullet. Apex does find him. As a result, this A site is going to go the way of ENVyUs, with very little contestation coming out from Team Dignitas just yet.
Already, CTs lose their first player, and, well, seemingly it seems that they're ducking out of the site. Are they just falling back? They're just like, nope, we're not about this life. We're leaving. We want to have a buy in the next round. Loss bonus will mean that the drop is potential, but already the loss of Cajun, that's the AWP down, so the value of that weapon is gone. And, well, now MSL peeks to try and get it back, and they lose another player. So the save called in very, very early, and Apex, he doesn't like that.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like it indeed. 3 frags right now, and he wants to try and get a couple more. He's looking to go on the hunt along with the rest of his teammates. Right now he's in CT, slowly making his way in towards that B site. They do spot out one of the remaining Dignitas players in the form of Config. He's got Happy coming in from behind, and well, he might be able to find this frag, at least as a parting gift, but no, it just wasn't meant to be. Happy takes his head off, and it's going to go 12-14. ENVyUs now only 2 rounds behind Team Dignitas, and, you know, you have to bear in mind that at one point, I believe this had, what, a 9-14 scoreline.
Maybe even 8. It has been a sort of streak of just a ridiculous streak of rounds that's now on the board actually for ENVY, and I'm getting a little bit worried for Dignitas. Of course, we see their Danish brothers with a sort of a little word to their name, which I'm not going to say because I think it's pretty much banned now, but yeah, it's not looking good at the moment. Magisk will be able to find a kill, and of course having a little bit of Kevlar, they do have the money to invest a little bit in these pistols, so that's not too much of a problem. And, well, just as I mentioned that word, it's almost if they wake up. Magisk finds a couple of kills. MSL is waiting. Can he catch Sixer? Not quite. He's going to go low, but it's not going to be enough to actually stop him. Rubino, of course, the one man who was able to save into the last round, is going to be the only on site. Now, they haven't actually spotted him out yet, and they're going towards his site, making quite a bit of noise. He has to have the idea, and they're going to go for the plant. This should be a freebie, but actually MBK is there to save his French brother, to stop anything from going wrong. And Sixer, well, perfectly placed to make sure this round doesn't go the way of Dignitas.
Yeah, and now there's only 1 round between them. And I think if Dignitas were going to start worrying, it should have been many rounds ago, seeing as now they've got ENVyUs right on their doorstep, only 1 round away, and of course, once it goes to a 14-14 scoreline, it's anyone's game. I mean, it already is anyone's game, to say that it isn't. Now, you're going to be seeing Dignitas. They've got a nice bar on the card to double up set up on Rubino and Cajun B. And ENVyUs opting once again for the 4 rifles and the AWP up on Kenny S.
Yeah, double AWP setup. So they have switched things up. This is their change. This is what they're trying to do to get themselves that cheese round, throwing in a strategy they haven't attempted yet. Cajun waiting Kenny close. But doesn't manage to catch him just yet. Still going to be the 5v5. Rubino, he's going to go for this aggressive peek, but not going to catch anyone either. So a couple of flashes of hope for both teams to find the opening pick. But neither will capitalize just yet. Now Rubino, he's actually rotated back around. There's going to be a lot of players waiting for him. And in fact, he's just going to use that to fall back. But Kenny doesn't care. He'll pick up that kill no matter what. And MSL's about to get isolated as well. Apex with the second entry. Cage him. He'll be able to trade one back, holding a position to get the angle. Ooh, both players missed their shots. That seemed to be the AWPers a little bit off at the moment. But it's going to be the 4 versus 3. And, well, Envy primed them ready to even this up.
Yeah, look at Happy's positioning though. He's coming in from behind, finds one out, and Magisk can put it into a 2-on-3. He's just looking to make his way towards the A site for some reason. Just baiting his teammates a little bit, trying to find these frags as he comes in on the lurk. Config though is fully aware of his positioning, but I mean currently Dignitas, they can't go for this. They've got a player so close behind, they've got 2 players on the site. Whatever they do, it was a bit of a null round from them from the outset. The second they let Happy get into that position. They do find one out into MBK, put it back into a 2-on-2, but they still have left so much time that now there's no point in them going for the defuse. They've got to try and save. And he's going to get caught with his pants down. Sadly, Happy can't make those shots connect, and now opts to fall on back. He's going to flash himself out, and he's able to get one frag on the back of it. Does take down Config just in the nick of time.
Yeah, this is unbelievable at the moment. It seems like Dignitas are spending more time in the round actually trying to save their weapons than they are actually challenging it. They seem to lose the site so very quickly. The push coming in, both players really being caught out of position. Rubino tries to fall back and ends up getting caught by Kenny, and then MSL doing the exact same thing. And it's almost as if every time they run for the fight, or run from the fight, Envy are there just like, no, you're not getting away with it this time. And, well, Magisk, look at this aggression. They are almost side by side. Neither seem to know that the other is there. And this smoke fading. There we go. Happy. He finally clocks on and finds the first frag. Now looking for the trade. Config manages to do it. Back awake once again. But Apex, he's been so good at finding these entry kills so far. There is one man by him. He's actually going to step. Going to make a lot of noise. Both players ended up flashed, but it's Apex to get the kill once again. Config is lost.
Yeah, it's going to go 3-on-4. Dignitas at the man disadvantage now, trying to rotate in towards this A site on the back of their hunch. Well, Rubino does find one out on MBK, puts it into a 3-on-3. Apex is going to fall as well, but 6 is there to trade things out. Going to start getting shot at though by MSL over towards short, exchanging some damage back and forth. That nade could potentially shut it down. Does good damage onto MSL. Rubino's going to fall as well as Kenny does find him. And well, now it's all MSL. 1 versus 2. Bombs going down in towards the A site. He's got to worry about Sixer in mid as well. And he's going to be trying to make his way through window. And sadly, Six is there, ready and waiting on the lurk.
How many rounds is that in a row now? Is that 6 or 7? That's just ridiculous now. The T side have managed to pull this one all the way out of the bag from a horrible standpoint. They were so far behind, and they've just strung rounds together. They've just played the picks. Apex has stepped up massively, and I genuinely don't know how this has happened to Dignitas. Everything seems to have fallen apart, and now they're fighting to try and stay in this map rather than take it over the line.
Yeah, Happy to start things off. Able to find one, but the trade's going back and forth. Going to leave it in a 3-on-2 as Apex manages to make that favorable for the side of EnVyUs. Magisk trying to do what he can. Does good damage. It's not going to be enough. Does take Kenny down to 50 HP. It's all going to be on MSL over towards this B site to be the linchpin in this situation as EnVyUs send all 3 players over towards this site. MBK trying to peek it in from short. Right now they've got fire as well coming in from Magisk over towards that A site. But it is looking like they're going to be committed on towards the B area. MBK trying to scout it out. The only player with 100 HP. I mean, as Bomb makes his way back through mid, EnVyUs still looking a little bit undecided here. I mean, they haven't spotted MSL out yet, so they don't have information on him. As a result, it's a fairly safe bet that he is here over towards this B site.
MSL, he hasn't been able to have too much of an impact just yet in this CT half. This would be one hell of a time to do it. This is when they need him the most, and, well, it almost seems like the read may be on point at the moment, but they're all going to peek at once, and MSL again will be lost. It's down to Magisk. 1 versus 3. Peeking back in, using the smoke, and they don't seem to have too much of an idea of where he is. Now, this is where he needs to peek, and while MBK is too fast. What a ridiculous comeback in the end. What was that, 9 rounds? Maybe it was even 9 in a row. That was absolutely ridiculous from Envy. They just come back from completely behind, and I don't actually know how they managed to pull that one off. That made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was insane. I thought Dignitas were going to take that 100%. I mean, it was, I believe it was 8-14 at some point, like you say, and then they were able to take, the next 8 rounds consecutively in order to win that. I mean, Dignitas just couldn't even get their foot in the door. It was like suddenly EnVyUs just woke up from their slumber that they were in back on Cobble. and they were there. So yeah, it was really good from both sides. But ultimately,
Yeah.
EnVyUs completely locked it down in the second half.
Well, Dignitas, we said that they had a bad start. It was about to get a little bit better with 2 wins under their belt. Instead, it's only going to be the 1-1 split, and EnVy managed to pull a map out of nowhere. So decent work from them. A little bit disappointed for Dignitas, but either way, that's it for this segment. We will be back a little bit later with some more Counter-Strike.